Hello, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Pitambar Humne, founder Botany for You, and working as Associate Professor and Head Department of Botany, Dharampet MP Deo Memorial Science College, Nagpur, Maharashtra, India. Today, I welcome you all in this Angiosperm Taxonomy series of lectures in second lecture. Today, we are going to study root types and modifications. In this lecture series, I already told you in the first lecture that we will try to complete the maximum syllabus of Angiosperm taxonomy, which is usually taught in different syllabi of plant sciences in Indian universities for UG and PG level. So let's start the roots. In the roots, if we see the higher plants or the angiosperms, we know that the plants are classified into the different parts, that is root, stem and leaves. And these different parts are meant for the different functions in the plant body. Usually the plants are classified according to this. In lower plants, that is algae, fungi and bryophyta, there are the absence of such type of the root, stem and leaves. While in rest of the plants, that is pteridophyta, gymnosperm and angiosperm, there is a presence of root, stem and leaves. We are dealing with the angiosperms, its taxonomy or the systematics through this lecture series. First of all, we will see here the type of roots. Whenever we are talking about the type of the roots, then right from the lower classes, that is from the high school usually, we know the roots are classified into the two types, that is first one is a taproot and second one is a adventitious root or the fibrous root. If we see this two different type of the roots, usually we have to remember only the diagram or the diagram comes in front of our eyes. But when we have to see the actual definition of this root, then we will find that the first one, that is the primary normal roots which originate from the embryo and usually persist throughout life, and that is known as taproot or the primary root. And second one, that is the adventitious roots which arise secondarily from stem, leaf or other tissues and which may be either permanent or temporary in function. You know, if there is a germination of the seed, that may the dicot or that may the monocot, in which from this seed there is a development of the axis in the form of plumule and radicle. Later on, the plumule is responsible to grow into the stem and the radicle grow into the root. The UG student should remind this R for the radicle and R for the root, so that it will be easy to remember in the future. So if the root develops from this radicle and it persists for the whole life of that organism, then that type of the root is considered as a taproot. But during the course of the development of the plant, this radicle later on is replaced by the other roots in the plant body, then that type of the roots which are developing other than the radicle are known as the adventitious roots or the fibrous roots. These are the general characters of the roots, in which the roots possess a tendency to grow downwards or sideways rather than upward. This is a characteristic feature of the root, that it always develops in a positively geotrophic condition or negatively phototropic condition. There is absence of chlorophyll in the roots. This is a usual thing in most of the plants, but there are some other roots also which are responsible to carry out the process of photosynthesis. The roots are not susceptible to the influence of the light because they are negatively phototropic. There is absence of leaves and hence, of course, absence of the buds. Usually, the roots are not responsible for the development of the buds or the leaves or the fruits or the flowers. Few of the roots are even used for the cultivation or the reproduction that we will see in the next topics. The roots possess a root cap cover the apex, which is responsible for the protection of the root during its growth inside the soil or to penetrate deep inside the soil. They possess endogenous origin and branching. When the roots are growing inside the soil, there is development of the branches from these roots. In roots, the phloem and the xylem are situated on different radii in the primary structure. Whenever we are talking about the structure of the root or anatomy of the root, then we read that the vascular bundle in the root is radial. So again you have to remember R for the radial and R for the root. In this, when we have to see, there is a presence of phloem and the xylem in the center, and out of that, here there is a alternate patches of the phloem and the xylem. This is xylem, and here there is a presence of phloem, and in this way the phloem and the xylem, they are present on the different radii, and such type of the vascular bundles are known as the radial vascular bundle, which is the characteristic feature of the root, so that on the basis of anatomical structure we can easily identify the any part of the root, and it can be distinguished from that stem on the basis of this type of the anatomical structure. There is a relatively short zone of the growth at the apex, which we are considering that a meristematic region, and that is responsible for the continuous growth of the root inside the soil. They possess root hairs near the root apex, and these root hairs which are present on the root, that are responsible for the absorption of the water from the soil. So this will be seen in the lectures of the plant physiology. Here in this modification of the root for the physiological and mechanical functions. Now if we see this modification of the root to carry a special physiological functions, and the modifications of the root to carry the special mechanical functions, means here the total number of the modifications that are found in the roots are classified into the two parts, that is one for the physiological functions and second one for the mechanical functions. Both these topics are included in almost all the university syllabus of the plant sciences or the botany. In physiological functions, here the roots are modified for the storage then epiphytic or the aerial or absorbing roots, then assimilatory roots, reproductive roots, respiratory roots or the nematophores, then sucking roots or the hostoria, and mycorrhizal roots. So these different roots are responsible to carry out a special type of the physiological functions in the roots. Then second one, that is a roots for the special mechanical functions, that is the prop root, stilt root, then root buttresses, climbing roots, then clinging roots, then haptera or the holdfast, then contractile or the pull roots, then floating roots, and the root thorns. So these are somewhat for the mechanical functions in the plant body. So first one, we will have to discuss about the roots for the physiological functions. Number first one is the storage roots. Usually we know the roots are responsible for the absorption of the food material from the soil, as well as it is responsible to anchor the plant body in the soil. These are the main or the principal functions of the roots in the angiosperms. But in addition to that, some of the roots are modified and they are responsible for the storage of the food material inside it. Usually this storage or the stored food material in the root is utilized during the flowering and fruiting of that plant body. Or in some cases, these roots, when they are present inside the ground or the soil, they are responsible for the perennation in the adverse condition, and when there is a again favorable condition, at that time the bud which is present on the upper surface of the root, that grow and form the new plant again, and hence it is known as the perennating organ also. Here we are dealing with the storage roots, which are the modifications of the taproot. On the basis of the structure of the roots, they are classified into the 4 different types. The first one is a conical root, in which it is broader to the upper surface and continuously being narrowed towards its base or the lower surface. Such type of the roots are mostly found in the carrot, but it is not necessary that the every carrot will show the same type of the structure. In fusiform roots, here the example is radish, and in which we find that the root is somewhat swollen in the middle and it is tapering towards both the ends, and such type of the shape of the root is known as fusiform roots. In napiform roots, here the upper surface is broadened or it's very much broad or swollen, and it is abruptly narrowed from a particular point to the lower surface. And the best example of such type of the root is a beetroot. In tuberous roots, here the roots are responsible to form a tuber-like structures, and it is found in the mirabilis, which is commonly called as 4 o'clock plants. Then the modification of adventitious roots for the storage. In this, the tuberous roots of the sweet potato, here there is a development of the tuberous roots from the stem, and they are present inside the soil and are responsible to store the food material. If same type of the tuberous roots which are developing in a collaboration with or in a bunch or in a clumps, then such a type of the roots are known as fasciculated type of the roots, and fasciculated type of the roots are very commonly found in asparagus as well as the dahlia. In certain cases, like the Momardica or even the other plants, here the roots are responsible to solan at a particular place, then constriction and then solan, and in this way here at a particular interval or the distance there is a solan portion, and this solan portion is separated by the constricted portion, and in this way we will find this structure is just like to that of the beads, and hence this bead of the sting is nothing but the moniliform type of the roots. But in certain cases, whenever we have to see the roots which are present just like to that of the plates which are placed one above the other, or the disc which are placed one above the other, and such type of the roots are considered as annulated roots, and the annulated roots are commonly found in the apple. The next type is a nodulose root, and in many plants of the monocotyledons, that is the curcuma or the many orchids, there is a development of the nodulose root. In these roots, here the terminal part of the roots get swollen and is responsible to store the food material, and such a type of the roots are considered as a nodulose root. The second one, that is a epiphytic or the aerial absorbing roots. This is a very common example of the vanda, which is usually found in everywhere and commonly grow on the plants of mango as well as Madhuca indica mahogany. These plants are responsible for the formation of epiphytic roots. These are the special type of the roots, as these plants are growing on the another plant only for the support. So the roots which are developed by such type of the plants are responsible for the absorption of the moisture from the atmosphere, and such roots are known as aerial absorbing roots. If we see the anatomy of these plants, there is a presence of exodermis, and this exodermis which is present outside the epidermis, which is responsible for the absorption of the moisture from the atmosphere. So such roots are known as epiphytic roots or aerial absorbing roots. The next one, that is assimilatory roots. Assimilatory roots means the roots which are responsible to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Usually such type of the roots are very commonly found in the Ctenospora cordifolia, goodwell of the family Menispermaceae, as well as the Aponagia longifolia of Odostemaceae, which is commonly found in Cherrapunji. These plants are responsible for the development of the roots, and these roots are green in color. In case of the Ctenospora, there is a development of the roots from the stem which are green and are also responsible to carry out the process of the photosynthesis. In the similar way, in case of the Aponagia longifolia, it has the thallus-like roots which are spread on the ground or the rocks and are green in color, and because of that they are responsible to carry out the process of the photosynthesis, and hence they are known as assimilatory roots. The reproductive roots means the roots which are responsible for the reproduction or the roots which is used for the cultivation. In case of the Trichosanthes dioica or Ipomia batatas and Carapacia ipecacuana. Now, if we see the roots of these different plants, they have the buds, or they are responsible to sprout the buds on their surface, and because of that they can regenerate into the complete body, and hence such a type of the roots are used for the reproduction or the cultivation of the plants. In many places which are marshy near the oceans, usually the soil is devoid of the oxygen. We know that in plants or the animals, each and every cell require the oxygen to carry out the process of respiration, and the roots are responsible for the absorption of oxygen which is available in the soil. But because of the marshy nature of the soil, here the plants which are growing in the marshy places are not able to get the sufficient amount of the oxygen in that places, and hence some of the roots of such a plants which are growing in the marshy places grow negatively geotrophic or the positively phototropic for the absorption of the oxygen, and they are known as breathing roots. These breathing roots are nothing but the respiratory roots, or it is also known as pneumatophores. The best example of the respiratory root or the pneumatophore is Rhizophora apiculata. Some of the plants which are growing in the Sundarban and commonly known as Sundari, that is also a best example for the respiratory roots or the pneumatophores. Then sucking roots or the Haustoria. These roots are responsible for the absorption of the food material from the host plant. These type of the roots are usually growing in case of the parasites which are growing on the other plants. And the best example, and it is well known plant, that is a Cuscuta reflexa, which is usually leafless organism or the leafless plant. Usually it is growing on the another angiosperms, and it is responsible for the absorption of the food material from that host plant. If you see this diagram, second one, in which here we are able to find out the development of the Haustoria from it. So these Haustoria are the small knob-like structure which are developing from the stem of the Cuscuta that enter inside the stem of the host plant and is responsible to absorb the food material. Here the same is drawn in TS, and we are able to find out here this is the Cuscuta and it is responsible to send its Haustoria inside the plant. So this is a host plant and this is the Cuscuta. So this Cuscuta is responsible to send this Haustoria inside it, which is responsible for the absorption of the food material from the plant body, and hence it is known as sucking root or the Haustoria, as they are responsible to suck the food material from the host plant. Then mycorrhizal roots. In case of the mycorrhizal root, usually these plants, usually pines, are growing in such type of the condition in association to that of the fungi. The many roots, when are growing on the surface of the soil, they are provided with the growth of the fungi on their surface in the form of mantle, and because of that here they are considered as a mycorrhizal roots, means the growth of the myco means the fungi. So here there is a development of the fungi on the surface of the root, and such type of the roots are known as mycorrhizal root. There is a variety of the type of the development of the fungi on the surface of the roots. Even you will see here the plants of the wheat, they are growing, and the many fungi are growing in association with these roots. Here this is the TS of the root, which is responsible to show that the outer surface is completely encircled by the growth of the fungi. So these fungi which are growing on the surface of the root is responsible for the absorption of the food material from the plant body, and at the same time, if this fungi is responsible for the absorption of the minerals from the soil that are provided to the plant body. Hence, such a type of the association in between the fungi and the roots of the higher plant is also the beneficial to the plants also. Then second type of the modification of the root for the mechanical functions, in which the first one, that is a prop roots. The very much and the best example of the prop root is a Ficus bengalensis, and this Ficus bengalensis having the horizontal branches, and these horizontal branches which are growing from the trunk are not able to keep their weight on the trunk, and because of that, from these horizontal branches there is a development of many roots, and they grow downward in the soil, and later on, by continuous growth of such type of the roots, they are just looking like the pillars. The best example which is present in the prop root is that the ficus plant growing in the botanical garden of the Calcutta, which is around 200 years old, and there is development of around 900 prop roots from the branches of this plant. Also, the similar plant is present in the Madras also, in the Java also. The stilt root itself indicate the meaning, that is the stilt means the sticks which are used for the walking as a extra support. Here in these type of the plants, the roots which are developing from the lower nodes of some of the monocotyledons like the maize or the pandanus, which is usually growing towards the margin of the tanks. In this, the lower nodes are responsible for the growth of the oblique roots, which later on enter inside the soil and is responsible to provide the extra support to the plant body. And such a type of the roots which are growing obliquely for the extra mechanical support to the plant body are known as stilt roots. The second one, third one is a root buttress, and in this, here the root buttresses are usually found in the older plants. Now, the roots which are growing from the base, usually they show the nature of stem as well as root. On the upper surface, you will find that they are the part of the stem, and on the lower surface, you will find that they are the part of the roots. Here, such a type of the roots, just they are looking like to that of the wings. These roots on the upper surface are green, and even they are responsible to carry out the process of the photosynthesis, means assimilatory in function, while they are present on the surface of the rocks or the soil and are responsible to provide the extra support to the plant body. Then climbing roots. In many plants which are climbers, they are developing the roots, and these roots are responsible for the support, so that the plant body can climb on another support with the help of such type of the roots, and hence these roots which are responsible to help the climbing, and hence it is known as climbing roots. Usually they are found in Epiprenum, as well as the most common is a betel vine, that the pan that we are eating. So in both these cases, here the stem is responsible for the development of such type of the small roots which are responsible in the helping the climbing of the plant body. Then second one is the next one is clinging roots. This is the example of orchid, and in this, in addition to that of the epiphytic root or the aerial root that we have seen earlier in the physiological functions, in addition to that there is a development of some of the other roots which are responsible to fix these epiphytes on the surface of the other plants. And these small roots, see now here you will find such type of the roots which are growing on the surface. They are responsible to fix the plant body on the crevices of the host plant, and the other roots which are hanging, they are the aerial roots or the epiphytic roots. So such a type of the roots which are responsible to fix the epiphyte on the surface of the other host plant, they are known as clinging roots. The clinging roots are just like to that of the earlier roots that we have seen. Then haptera or the holdfast. Whenever we are talking about the holdfast, usually the plants which are responsible to hold the substratum by a particular organ, that is known as holdfast. Usually the word we have seen very commonly in case of the algae. But in angiosperms also there are some of the plants which are growing in the Cherrapunji, like the Epinagia of the family Podostemaceae, which are provided with the roots just like to that of the thallus of the algae. They are green in color and are responsible to carry out the photosynthesis, means they are again responsible for the physiological functions. In addition to that, here they are responsible to hold the substratum, and because of that the plants are attached firmly on it, and such a type of the roots which are responsible to hold on the surface of the rock or the surface of the soil, they are known as haptera or the holdfast. Then contractile or the pull roots. Very commonly such a type of the roots are growing from the underground stem, and the main function of these roots is responsible to pull the stem deep inside the soil by its contractile nature, and hence it is known as the contractile roots or the pull roots. They can contract, and hence it is known as the contractile roots, and they are responsible to pull the stem deep inside the soil, and hence it is known as the pull roots. The best example is a onion, in which after the growth of the plant body, day by day when the roots develops, it is responsible to pull this bulb or the onion deep inside the soil, and hence it is known as the contractile root or the pull root. Then floating root. Usually the floating roots are responsible to float the plant body on the surface of the water. Means these roots are found in aquatic plants. The best example is a Jassia repens, in which there is a development of the floating roots. These floating roots are spongy in nature, and because of that they are responsible to provide the buoyancy to the plant body, and because of that the plants are always present on the surface of the water in a floating condition because of presence of such type of the floating roots. Even they are responsible for the breathing or to provide the oxygen to the plant body also. The last one, that is a root thorns. In some of the plants like the Acanthorrhiza as well as the Pothos, here there is a development of the spine-like structure at the base of the stem, and these are actually the roots. Usually these roots are developed from the base of the plant body to defend the plant body from the other animals which are responsible to destroy the plants, and hence we can consider that the root thorns is nothing but the defense mechanism in case of such type of the angiosperms. So thank you very much. Kindly like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and also press bell icon for the alerts of every lecture to be uploaded on Life Science Titles. In our next lecture, we will see the stem types and modification in third lecture. So thank you very much for your watching. Continuously through this lecture series, we will provide all the lectures on angiosperm taxonomy. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. See you.